Hey, good evening, Vegas Sports Nation, and welcome to the Vegas Sports Scene. I'm your host, the Bat Frie, Kenny Fry. I hope everybody's doing well out there in podcast land. Football season is pretty much just about upon us here, and it's exciting, right? It's exciting. The unfortunate part is it means summer's almost over, but the autumn wind is a pirate. We all know that, so. We got a comment here. Let's see who it is. Who can it be? Who do you think's ringing our doorbell first here? It's our boy, Adam Glenn. What's up, Adam? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a good night. There, buddy old pal. Let me get situated here. Get my fat ass up in this rocker chair here before I fall out. Everything starts scooting down on me, and that's it. I don't want to fall live here on my podcast, and I'll be a fail, or I'll be a whatever the hell you want to call it, whatever the kids are calling it these days. All right, so let's start it off here with a little bit of good news with Jimmy G. I'll start off with some Raider talk here, obviously. So Jimmy G cleared to play, so that's good news. It's the whole freaking offseason, it feels like, since the Raiders have signed him, has been one big drama story. Is Jimmy G going to play? If he doesn't play, the Raiders, can get out of his contract, blah, blah, blah. And it was really unnecessary. Josh McDaniels said that he felt like, Josh McDaniels said outright that he wasn't concerned. He said he felt like Jimmy G is going to be fine. He'll play. Jimmy G also said that he felt like he was going to be fine, that he was going to play. There shouldn't be any issues with him being cleared. So, lo and behold, we get to training camp here, and he is cleared. So, all that, what ifs and, people asking, are you going to have a quarterback? Who's your quarterback going to be? It's Jimmy G. So, there we go. That question has been answered. Now we can look at who's his backup going to be? Because Jimmy G's going to get hurt, because that's what Jimmy G does. Of all the years that Jimmy G has been playing professional football, Jimmy G, of the years that he has started, we'll say, of all the years that Jimmy G has been a starter, he has only completed one season as a starter. So he has a lot of, quite a few seasons where he has not played all 16/17 games. Gets hurt one way or another, and it is what it is. So not like picking up an injury-prone quarterback. Glenn says, fat ass is working OT. Yep. Sean is working OT. Fat ass is working OT. He should be watching the show now because his OT, I believe, ends at 10 p.m. But I know he's like, Adam, you're going to have to send Sean a message, tell him to get on here, get on live. I don't think he's at work anymore. I want to see him comment here, and I want to see you guys go back and forth calling each other fat ass and whatever kind of name calling he's going to have for you there. I know Sean thinks it's hilarious when you call him fat ass. He thinks it's really funny. You called him fat ass in front of HR at the company's 75th anniversary open house a couple weeks ago. Sean was telling me that. He goes, Adam called me fat ass in front of HR. I was dying. It was really, really funny. So anyway, back to Jimmy G. So now we can look at who's Jimmy G's backup going to be. Now that Jimmy G's a starter, like I said, it's inevitable that Jimmy G is going to get hurt, and the backup is going to have to play. So we have Brian Hoyer and Aiden O'Connell. Those are your two top backup choices. Garbles, I'm not considering Garbles at all. With a name like Garbles, he should be holding a clipboard, and that's it. And so I'm looking at Brian Hoyer, Aiden O'Connell. So my opinion is you go with the youngster, put Aiden O'Connell in the backup role, get more reps as the backup quarterback. When Jimmy G does get hurt, it's probably going to be the 8th, 9th, 10th week of the season. And Aiden O'Connell should be more than ready to go in and play anyway. So if this is the guy that we're looking at as the future of our franchise, the guy that's going to take us to the promised land, Aiden O'Connell, then have him in the backup role, have him ready to go just in case the inevitable does happen with Jimmy G going down hurt. there's no reason in my mind that Brian Hoyer should see the field. If Brian Hoyer sees the field, we're in a lot of trouble. Meaning Jimmy G's hurt, Aiden O'Connell's hurt, and we're to our third quarterback already. So that's my opinion on that. I pray to the Lord that Jimmy G just stays healthy. I still think Derek Carr is a better option than Jimmy G. Two totally different quarterbacks. But we'll see. Everybody says Jimmy G's a proven winner, but Jimmy G always has a top-flight defense. We have made some defensive moves. I feel like we've gotten better at defense. Whether or not it's enough to make a difference, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But now I'll get to our defense in a little bit here, as we had a pretty big signing recently. Oh, there she is, the wonderful Eileen. Eileen says, "Don't worry, I am here. Yankees winning gets me fired up. Never know what might happen." Well, the Mets are getting their asses spanked right now against the Nationals, so I'm not even paying attention to it. Max Scherzer is no longer a Met. I'm cool with that. I could care less. Bye-bye, Max. That's what I say to him. He didn't want to be there anymore. He's a good part of the reason why the Mets are in the shape that they're in. Whenever there was a big game to be pitched and Max pitched it, he shit the bed. Whenever he got to pitch against a lower level team, he pitched great. You need to win those big games. And Max Scherzer did not step up. He didn't step up at the end of last season as well. He tanked out at the end of the season, went to the playoffs. He tanked out there. So bye, Max. Adam Glenn says he needs a good back. You have a backup. Your buddy Sean, he's your backup. The Mets suck. The Mets do suck, Adam. The Phillies suck too. Trey Turner sucks. Schwarber sucks. The only guy that's worth a spit on that team is, well, there's three guys in my opinion. Wheeler, Harper, and Realmuto. Those are the only guys worth anything on that team. Phillies. So that's my opinion on the whole Jimmy G situation. I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad it's we have a resolution. It's all resolved. It's done, over with, and now we'll wait for the inevitable injury to happen and see who's going to back Jimmy G up. Like I said, who I think it should be. I think it should be Aiden O'Connell. Or as a lot of people have dubbed him, Farva. If you have watched the movie Super Troopers, he's a thinner version of Farva, which, makes a lot of sense. Adam says that I suck. I don't suck, Adam. I do not suck, despite what you may have heard. So we'll move on from Jimmy G to another sore subject. Davante Adams. I seen a report. I got something in my eye here. I seen a report recently that said Davante is adamant. He wants to retire in the silver and black. He wants to retire a Raider. He wants to retire with the Raider jersey on his back. And then I read another story saying that Davante Adams will likely end up traded to the New York Jets as he demands to be traded out of Las Vegas. So I don't know what the hell it is. I'm over it. I can't stand drama with teams like this. All my teams seem to have some sort of drama surrounding it, except for the LA Kings. They don't seem to have any drama, associated with them, but maybe I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. But so I prefer to believe the part that Davante wants to retire a Raider. I'm pretty sure I read before that he grew up a Raider fan. Always love the silver and black. So let's hope that he's all in. I've seen video of him working with Jimmy G in training camp here. Looks good. Offensively, it's a nice set of weapons there at wide receiver with Davante, Jacoby Myers, who we just picked up this season, Hunter Renfrow, and Hunter Renfrow came out and said that he didn't play. He let Raider Nation down last year. He let his teammates down last year. He didn't play as well as he could. Well, no shit, Hunter Renfrow, no shit. But he said he's wants to put the best version of himself out there to show that he's worth worth keeping on the team and worth being a Pro Bowler and then the contract that he signed and stuff like that. So let's hopefully we have Hunter Renfrow from 2021 instead of 2022 back. And like I said, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, Keelan Cole, who we picked up, Philip Dorsett, who we picked up from I think Indianapolis. I think that's where he's from. Trey Tucker, we just drafted. A lot of people are high on him with his speed, and it's almost kind of like a faster type of Hunter Renfrow, so you can see him into the slot more. So that should be interesting. It should be a lot of fun to watch. But there's plenty of weapons there offensively at the wide receiver position, also at tight end with Austin Hooper, picking Austin Hooper up and drafting Michael Mayer and O.J. Howard, picking him up in the offseason. So tight end where you would think we'd take a step back after trading Darren Waller away to the Giants. I'm not going to say we're better at tight end now because we lost both of our tight ends from last season. And, I feel like we were solid at tight end last year when Waller was finally healthy. But I still feel like we're solid at tight end with Austin Hooper and Michael Mayer penciled in as your starters. And then O.J. Howard, backing up and stuff. So I feel like we're still solid at tight end. Maybe not as good as we were when Waller was healthy, but there's still some playmaking ability there. So offensively, weapon wise, I feel like the Raiders are still in really, really good shape. Adam Glenn says his rumor: Adams to the Jets. Adam, they might sign Dalvin Cook though. You're hearing a lot of rumors about the Jets signing Dalvin Cook. I don't know if Eileen's still watching. But she could probably speak more onto that. Eileen, I don't know why you just don't do a Jets show or a Yankee show on here. You could do podcasting. You see a lot of it. You watch a lot of it. You can see the gist of it that we're up here just talking nonsense and trying to push through an hour. Even if you want to come on and do a show with me, we could split. We like half Raiders, half Jets or whatever, or do I don't know, the Jets and Mets. You could do something like that. That'd be pretty cool. While you're at work, you tell work that, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. You just do it from the bathroom stall at work or something like that. I'm sure they won't mind. You tell them you're taking a poop. It's a really long poop, and you'll be back in about a half hour to 45 minutes. I'll have you out of there real quick. I know I get long-winded sometimes. I like to talk a lot. I like to hear myself talk, and I ramble, and I say a lot, or I can't remember a lot. But with that being said, now I can get you out of there pretty quick. Yeah, just tell me you're pooping. Nobody's going to check on you if you say you're pooping, Eileen. Honestly, if you say you're pooping, they're not going to come knocking at the door saying, hey, are you done pooping yet, Eileen? There's work to be done. No, they're not going to do that. You got an easy out there, Eileen. I'm telling you. And she's laughing at that. So it's just an idea. Just spitballing here. See how I can get you podcasting. Maybe get a Jets or a Yankees show here. So looking at I'll move on from Davante Adams and start talking about some running back stuff here because of course Josh Jacobs, move on to Josh Jacobs this saga. He no-shows, which we all knew it was going to happen. It got a little bit more interesting for Josh Jacobs now that Saquon Barkley has signed with the Giants on a 1-year deal worth about $11 million. That kind of puts the ball in Josh Jacobs' court. He had a little bit of leverage with Saquon not signing. Sticking together, the brotherhood of the running back sticking together, and Saquon said, hell no, I'm going to get paid a little bit at least, and I want to play. So Saquon, signed a 1-year deal for $11 million, which is a little bit more than the franchise tag. So in my opinion, I think Josh Jacobs will eventually end up signing for a similar contract. 1 year, I think he'll be more than $11 million. So I'm thinking more of like a $13 million contract, with probably like a $3-4 million signing bonus. And he'll be pissed off all season, but it is what it is. And then the Raiders tag him again next year, and he'll be even more pissed off. It's insane to think about. That's how it's done. I'm not a huge fan of the franchise tag. I said this last week. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember the last time I was on with the Vegas sports scene. But I feel like they need to do these rookie deals a little bit differently, because the running back position is extremely I don't want to say abused, because that's not the right word. It's taken for granted. It's taken advantage of. So what I think they should do for running backs, for the running back position in particular, because it is so hard for them to get that big contract. They should have it a 3-year contract with, if they're a first-round pick, the 4th-year option, instead of a 4-year contract and a 5th-year option. So if a running back's drafted, let's say in the 2nd round, all right, that's a 3-year contract where he's under team control. That 4th year, he's a free agent. He can get franchise tagged that year. Now he's still within that range, that realm where running backs are still usually really good and healthy yet. I guess the stigma with running backs is after that rookie contract is when they start going downhill. So if you shorten that guaranteed that contract, that rookie contract, by a year, I think that gives the running backs a little bit more leverage to get a little bit bigger contract, to get paid a little bit more money, which they should, because they're huge producers for their teams. I know most teams go running back by committee now, but there's still a handful of running backs out there that are game breakers, like a Saquon Barkley, like a Josh Jacobs, like a Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis. He's asking for a trade now, so that's getting all dirty and muggy, and like a McCaffrey or Henry from Tennessee. I can't think of his first name right now. Derrick Henry from Tennessee. There's a handful of running backs in every draft. Not a whole lot of running backs. You might get one that goes in the 1st round, but the rest of them go later because the running back position is so not highly regarded anymore. They're not as big as they were. And but still, those handful of running backs are game changers. So why those guys can't just get a 3-year, like a mini 3-year 3-year rookie deal, and then go from there? I think that's doable. I don't see what the issue with that would be, or have it by position. If these other positions are going to get to the point where that's not fair for my position. Why not have every position be broken down into different guaranteed or different rookie type contracts, where it's not just, okay, you're a rookie, it's a 4-year contract. Why can't they break it down to, a wide receiver's, 4-year deal, running back's a 3-year deal, a tight end's a 3-year deal, an offensive lineman is, 2 to 3 year deal, a defensive lineman, 2 to 3 year deal or whatever, and just go from there. I mean, it leads to a lot more negotiations, and it leads to a lot more players holding out, probably more franchise tags. But I feel like, it would resolve a little bit of the issue with the running back deal. But it may not. It may just make things more difficult. I don't know. I'm just, spitballing here. Go ahead and roll back some comments here. We have Eileen saying, I don't know if you guys are ready for my New York accent. I may or may not sound like Fran Drescher from Queens. Oh my God, that'd be awesome. That'd bring the people in. I love Fran Drescher's voice. And like high pitched nasally, kind of like that. I was loved Fran Drescher in the movie UHF. I'm a big Weird Al fan, so the movie UHF, Fran Drescher was in it. I thought she was fantastic. Danny on Wheels, what's up, Danny? You can check Danny out on Mondays, twice on Mondays, with Joystick Junkies and also the Big Blue Power Hour, talking New York Giants football. He said, woo! Go Giants! And Bitch Quan was about to be his new name. Thomas got a huge deal too. And there's Dalvin Cook. Yeah. So, Dan, do you think Dalvin Cook's going to sign with the Jets? I've been hearing it, but I haven't seen anything official yet. I asked Eileen, but she didn't answer that question. I don't know. Do you think he will sign with the Jets? I don't. The Jets have a lot of money tied up. I don't know how much money they actually have left. They got a lot of high-priced talent. I know Aaron Rodgers just did restructure his deal a little bit to free up some money. Some of his money is now, I think, in signing bonus and pushed back a little bit. I think that's what it was. I could be wrong. Eileen says he might sign with the Jets. He thinks he will. Danny says yes, he believes as well. And Yankees are winning. I'm too giddy. She does not want Davante Adams. I don't know why. He's still a top tier wide receiver. Top 2 or 3 easily. But for some reason, like before the Raiders picked up Davante Adams, I said he was one of the kind of the guys that you never really heard a whole lot about, with that drama or anything like that. You never heard anything. It always sounded like he was a really good teammate, which he still is. I'm sure he still is a really good teammate, but the whole drama aspect of it almost has been nonstop since the whole car saga. Is it saga or saga? I don't know. Adam Glenn says he will sign with the Jets, talking about Dalvin Cook. If Adam Glenn says it, I have to go with it. I have to trust Adam Glenn. Eileen says, but then if you get Cook, then what do you do with Breece Hall? That's a hell of a 1-2 punch. That's what that is. And that, like I said before, Eileen, a lot of teams go by running back by committee, which I think the Raiders, if they don't re-sign Josh Jacobs anytime soon, that's what the Raiders are going to be doing with Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden, Zamir White, who I think should be the starter if Josh Jacobs is not brought back. I believe Zamir White should be that RB1. But also Britton Brown, they signed they drafted last season. And I've heard a lot of good things about Sincere McCormick, who was hurt last year, was picked up. I think he was an undrafted rookie last season, but did not play at all because he was injured. I've read a lot of good things about him as well. So I think if the Raiders don't sign Josh Jacobs, you're going to see a lot of running back by committee, starting with Zamir White getting the bulk of the carries, and then looking at Amir Abdullah, who I thought had a decent season last year. Weren't really expecting a whole lot from him. And I'm not very high on Brandon Bolden. I'm not a big Brandon Bolden fan. Just another Patriot on the roster taking up spots. Spectator 95. What's up, Spectator 95? Thanks for checking the show out. He says Jim Plunkett should be Hall of Fame, 2 Super Bowl rings. Absolutely, Jim Plunkett. And a long career to go with it. But to the 2 Super Bowl rings as a quarterback, as a starting quarterback, and with his longevity in the NFL, should get him, you would think, into the Hall of Fame. But it's gonna be one of those situations where it's gonna have to be like a veteran committee and get voted in that way. I'm not even sure if he's on the ballot anymore. I'm not sure how many times he's been on the ballot. I know it's after so many times you're off the ballot and it has to go through the Veterans Committee. But yeah, it's not only the 2 Super Bowl rings, but just a fantastic career, a great story as well. If you go back, you look up Jim Plunkett, how he was able to resurrect his career with the Raiders and stuff like that. So, but I agree, Spectator 95. He should be in, and just like who the hell were we talking about? A Raiders defensive back from the 70s. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head, but I've talked about him on the show before that he should have been in the Hall of Fame long ago. But for whatever reason, it's just hasn't happened yet. So is Bryce Hall and Breece Hall 2 different people? I don't know. Eileen, I'm not 100% up on the Jets roster here. She's gotten bitten by the giggle bug tonight. That's the kind of bug that I'd like to get bit by, a giggle bug. So Adam Glenn says Hall is is not healthy to be RB1. If he tore his ACL last year, I believe it was, for the Jets. But yeah, speaking of giggle bugs, I was stung by a bee a couple weeks ago. A hornet, no dicking around hornet either. It was a hornet. It was a pissed off hornet. So I was at a softball tournament in New Jersey, Sewell, New Jersey, and there was a bench by the batting cages. I was coaching, and the girls were in the batting cage, and there's a couple of hornets in this little bench that has a hole in it, and it actually stung the one girl. So I go over, and she's screaming and crying and stuff like that, and like, all right, she got stung 3 times actually in a matter of seconds. And so I usher her off to her mom so she can get some ice on it. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to kill this cocksucker. So I get my glove and I crush the one. Well, the other one wasn't too happy about it. There's 2 of them. And the other one got me twice. And I'll tell you what, that hurt really, really bad. And he's up in my face. I felt like Chris Farley and Tommy Boy. I'm swatting and swinging at it and screaming, and the girls are laughing at me. It was terrible. And then it actually stung a parent and another player as well. So before we got some wasp spray and took care of that situation pretty well. There's a generation of hornets that are gone now. Adam says the Jets are overrated. I don't know. There's a lot of hype with them. I don't know if they're overrated, but there is a lot of hype with them. They're in a tough division with the Bills and Dolphins, and Jets, Bills, Dolphins, and the Patriots. So back to Josh Jacobs. So who knows what's going to happen there? Like I said, I do believe – I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I do believe it's going to be during the regular season. I think Josh Jacobs will sign a contract. I think it will be a 1-year deal, and I think it'll be for more than what Saquon did. Like I said, I believe it's going to be like in a $13 million range, and then after the season, we'll be back to where we are now. So it is what it is. I just have a feeling that he's not going to be a Raider long term, which is a shame too because he really played very, very good. He earned a contract last year. I'm all for these guys getting their money. I'm not one of those people that I really don't give a shit how much money these guys do make. I'm not one of those things. Millionaires fighting with billionaires. I could give 2 shits how much they I don't care how much they make. If a billionaire wants to give his money to an employee, which happens to be a running back or a wide receiver, I don't care. I don't focus on that. I focus on the sports aspect of it. But I do think Josh Jacobs earned his money. He earned the right to a long-term contract, and the Raiders shit the bed with him, so I don't blame him for being pissed off. Adam's saying the Jets have a tough schedule, and Eileen, will Josh Jacobs sit out? I don't think he will. I think it's not good for him to sit out because it's easy. He did have a really good season, but it's easy to people forget you. It's easy for management to forget you from other teams as well. You sit out a full season, well, all of a sudden there's a new crop of running backs to come up and kind of take the league by storm. Well, now you're just you're an afterthought. You had that one great season. Now you sit out a whole season. Now you got to come back rusty or something like that, or you have to worry. Is this guy going to get injured right away because he has played a full season, pulled hamstrings and whatnot? So I don't think he's going to sit out a full season. I don't think it'd be good for him to sit out the full season. I think he's going to have to bite the bullet and sign either that franchise tag, or I think the Raiders will offer him a 1-year deal, just like Saquon Barkley got in the Giants. Eileen says, I never thought Barkley would actually sit out, and he was full of shit. I don't think any of these guys are going to sit out, but I mean, they gain nothing by sitting out. If they actually play, they can showcase. They deserve the money. And see, then that's the bummer of it, because that's what Josh Jacobs did, exactly what Josh Jacobs did last year. He played fantastic. He was probably one of our best players last year. Him and Davante Adams, 2 top players last year for the team. One and 1A, basically with those 2 guys. And So he earned it last year, and the Raiders just didn't give it to him. And it seemed like it was going in that direction where he was going to get paid. It certainly felt that way, but he played through injury at the end of the season when there was nothing to play for, but he still played and still didn't get paid. So I don't blame him for being pissed off. It reminds me a little bit of the Emmitt Smith situation, only a little bit, because he sat out the first, I don't know, was it like 3 or 4 games for the Cowboys the one season? Maybe it was 2 games, I don't know, over a contract dispute. The Cowboys really shit the bed without him. They signed him back, and the Cowboys ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. So it's not quite the same things. I don't think the Raiders are a Super Bowl contender. I do think they'll be better this year, but excuse me. But it kind of reminds me of that. So I won't be surprised if a couple games into the season he does sign. But we'll have to wait and see. Do you believe the running back actually got together on a call? I do believe that. I do believe they got together to talk about the market, what they should do. Should they stick together? And after that call was when Saquon Barkley signed. So either the call didn't go well, or Saquon said, "You know what? I'm signing a 1-year deal. I'm just gonna bite the bullet," or he just said, "Oh yeah, we'll stick together," and just lied to them. I don't know. But yeah, I do believe they actually got together and talked about the market and what they think and what they should do. And it was nice to see Christian McCaffrey stand up for him. Pretty much calling the whole situation BS. And like I said earlier, now Jonathan Taylor from Indianapolis has requested a trade from the Indianapolis Colts. So there's another running back that's unhappy. I don't know if he's unhappy the direction of the team is or whatever. I just read that it was after a meeting with Colts owner Jim Irsay, Jonathan Taylor asked for a trade. So, and then that doesn't really help Josh Jacobs at all, because now it's just another running back in out there for a team to grab, and that leaves Josh Jacobs, still, behind. So, but we'll move on from Josh Jacobs now and running back talk. And we'll go to a signing. The Raiders signed Marcus Peters to a 1-year, it could be up to $5 million contract. A really good signing for the Raiders. Marcus Peters coming into his 30-year-old season. So meaning he'll be 30 during the season. I think he turns 31 in January, I read. Dugout mug. And so a great signing for the Raiders. Cornerback, the defensive back period has been a huge bugaboo for the Raiders. Has been really bad. So for us to be able to pick up Marcus Peters as one cornerback, and then you have Duke Shelley as the other quarterback, who Duke Shelley doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Last year for Minnesota, he started the last 5 games of the season, and he ended up being in that time frame the third. Well, no, I think it was for the full season. He ended up being the 3rd highest rated cornerback in the league. Had 10 pass deflections, which was I don't know if that led the league or was near the tops of the league, and 1 interception, which was actually his first career interception. So he's never really been a full-time starter if you look at his career stats, but he kind of proved that he's ready for it, and so the Raiders give him a chance, and we'll see what happens there. So if we can get a Duke Shelley and Marcus Peters, shutting down the corners, both guys playing like a press man coverage, I think that's going to be huge. That's going to help our secondary out a lot, and that's also going to help our defensive front out. If they're able to lock down outside wide receivers, that's going to mean more time the quarterbacks hold onto the ball, which means more chances for Max and for Chandler Jones and for Tyree Wilson to get in there and get some sacks. So, excuse me. So that, yeah, absolutely a huge signing for the Raiders. I like it a lot. Going out there, taking a chance on it. Only a 1-year deal, so worst comes to worst, it doesn't work out. All right, moves on. If it does work out, fantastic. You know what? Maybe sign him to a long-term deal, give him some of Josh Jacobs' money, and go from there. Because our defense has been bad for so long. anything, any glimmer of hope is good. So, so that's what I have to say about that, I guess. I don't think I have anything else on that. Yeah, so Marcus Peters, I got a couple little stat snippets here. Came in the league 2015, 32 interceptions. He's fully healthy. I think last season he was a little bit injured, and so that's all I got on those guys. So before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and do a sponsor read here for our boys at Monkey Cold Coffee. Monkey Cold Coffee, you can check them out at monkeycoldcoffee.com. They produce artisanal gourmet specialty flavored coffee, including the ever popular bourbon chocolate chip and toasted coconut rum. They also have a new coffee come out, a Sumatran blend, which is your regular coffee, no flavor to it, no you know what I mean, no coconut, or it's a regular coffee. For all you coffee lovers out there, just want a regular coffee. You got a Sumatran blend coming out at monkeycoldcoffee.com. They also have T-shirts for sale, coffee mugs, tumblers, cold brew pitchers, K-cup adapters, rum cake. So much stuff on monkeycoldcoffee.com. And I'll tell you what, I'm sure Josh Jacobs would probably use a cup of coffee right now, or some rum cake. I'm sure Josh Jacobs could use some rum cake, or a hit of that bourbon chocolate chip coffee to kind of, get him along here and get him to his next contract, because it's going to be I think it's going to be a little bit of a wait. And so monkeycoldcoffee.com. After you make your purchase at checkout, make sure you use the promo code OOTB Sports. That's OOTB Sports at checkout for a 10% off. And every bag of coffee sold, a portion of the proceeds will go to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation for cancer research. So be sure to check that out and help the kids out. That's at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Check them out. Like, fantastic coffee. I'm not just one of those clowns that go out there and do a read for a product and don't use it. I love the coffee. I think the coffee's fantastic. I know I've talked to a couple of my friends into buying it. They also enjoyed it. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please check out monkeycoldcoffee.com. Even if you don't buy the coffee, get yourself a T-shirt, because that's a kick-ass logo. I mean, check out the logo. Let me bring it back up here for a second. See if the logo's there. You can't see the logo. You can kind of see the logo, the little mascot there. Roderick is the mascot's name. Roderick the monkey. He has a sweet-ass hood and holding a cup of coffee. It really is a badass logo. And I wish they had fat guy sizes, and I'd get a T-shirt, but they're not quite there, not quite ready to sell to the fat people yet. Soon. What's in the mug? In my dugout mug, I just have regular iced tea right now, buddy. It's my Mets mug. I have a couple dugout mugs behind me. A couple Mets Reading fighting Phils. I have a Mike Piazza dugout mug where I guess he signed it, and I guess it engraves in or whatever his signature is. So it's a pretty cool stuff. You need some ice. I love iced tea. You know what? That's my favorite drink is iced tea. I like some soda. I'm a Dr. Pepper guy, but iced tea is where it's at. I love half and half iced tea. Arnold Palmer iced tea lemonade. Man, that's killer. I don't know about you guys out there. Yes, it is Gears. It's Gears iced tea. Of course, it's Gears iced tea. What else would it be? But actually, it's Diet Gears. Trying to get my figure back here. Some Gears, Diet Gears iced tea. Eileen says the Pure Leaf tea, no sugar. I like the Pure Leaf. I like the taste of Pure Leaf. It tastes like actual natural, tea. Like if you're making sun tea, if you ever made sun tea, you put it in a jar, you put it out in the sun for 24 hours or whatever it is. It has that nice tea flavor. I like Pure Leaf tea. It is pretty good. Maybe that's what Monkey Cold Coffee will do next. They'll come out with like a flavored tea bags or something. I don't know. All right, so moving on with a little bit more Raider talk before I hop out of here. Some rookie news. A couple of our picks are injured. You have Tyree Wilson, our first pick overall, out with a non-football injury right now, which was expected by reports that I've read. I guess that he had foot surgery to end. He had a foot injury, foot surgery to end his season with Texas Tech last season. So coming into this year, coming into training camp, they kind of expected him to be on the non-football injury list. And, it's nothing serious. They said it's going to help him get ramped up a little bit slower, but he'll be fine to play during the season. And Byron Young, who was our third-round pick, I believe, he's out for God only knows what. I've read so many articles saying that, it wasn't disclosed as to what he was injured for, but he's on the PUP list right now, physically unable to perform. McDaniels says he's going to be fine. He'll be back sooner than later. So it's kind of a bummer seeing your two of your big rookie draft picks out hurt. But, the optimistic part of it is that both guys doesn't seem to be serious, that they will be back fairly quickly. Adam says Gears is the best iced tea. I know it says guess, but I know you mean Gears. Gears is the best iced tea. Gears is very good iced tea. Eileen doesn't know what Gears is, and if she's drinking pure leaf with no sugar, she's not going to be a Gears fan because Gears is all sugar. It's beautiful. Regular Gears iced tea is beautiful. I would date regular Gears iced tea if it was a woman and I wasn't married. So that's what I have on the rookies. That's all I have on the Raiders as well. We'll move on real quick. A little bit of Las Vegas Aces news from the WNBA. The Aces sitting at 22-2 in first place. Their next game tomorrow night is against the Dallas Wings, who was actually the team that beat them last earlier in July, the beginning of July. I think July 4th or 7th or something like that. I don't know. So they play them tomorrow. So that's a pretty big game, even though they have like a 10-game lead on Dallas. It's not big for standings, but it's big for psyche and for stuff like that. Because you don't want a team that already knocked you off once to knock you off again when you're the king of the hill, because that gives them some more confidence, and eventually they're probably going to meet up in the playoffs. So. But a big part of the news is Candace Parker. She's out injured right now. She's out indefinitely with ankle surgery. Foot surgery, left foot surgery. I guess it's something she's been playing with all season. She's one of their big off-season acquisitions this season, coming off their championship last year, looking to repeat. And so she's out indefinitely right now. She's had a pretty good season so far. She's not quite the MVP player she was in seasons past, but she's has played very well. Has contributed a lot to the team. So it's going to be hard to replace her at center. They're going to have Kaya Stokes. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, Kaya Stokes. She'll be filling in for Candace Parker. And Kaya Stokes was actually the center for last year's team that won the championship, and she's played a ton of minutes already this year. So not really much of a downgrade, but yeah. So the Aces just keep on trucking. Oh, I bumped something here. The Aces just keep on trucking. I don't see anybody slowing that train up for a while. They should roll into at the very least to the championship. But as we've seen with the Boston Bruins in hockey this year, you go out there, you kick ass, all regular season, you get to the playoffs, you can easily shit the bed. So, You got to get the playoffs. I say this every time, especially on my my Mets podcast, the Bat Cave, especially last year. It's not about winning divisions and stuff like that. Winning divisions are great. It's about making the tournament, making the playoffs. Everybody's 0-0, and then you go from there. Everybody's on a level playing field, and you go from there. So it's all about getting into the show. Get into the show. Anything can happen. So, yeah, it's great to have an awesome regular season, but you can have that easily all wiped away. Ask the Patriots, ask the Bruins, teams like that. You can have it all wiped away just like that in the playoffs. So, and nobody remember that awesome season that you had, awesome regular season. They'll remember that you shit the bed in the playoffs after an awesome regular season. So that's what the Bruins are going to be known for from this past season. That's what the Patriots are known for from years ago when they were 17-0 and they got their asses handed to them by the Giants in the Super Bowl. Nobody remembers, how dominant the Patriots were. They remember the Patriots losing in the Super Bowl after being undefeated all season. That's what it always comes back to that. It doesn't come back, they had a great year, 17-1, I guess it would have been, or 18-1. I think it's 17-1. It doesn't go to that. It goes right to they lost the Super Bowl. So it kind of wipes away all those accomplishments during the regular season, which is unfortunate because it's something to be said to have such a dominant regular season, but to have it wiped out if you're not able to complete the championship, that's just reality, man. That is what it is. That's part of sports. If you're not able to go out there and perform after being so good for so many months, then that's on you. And it's not like it's a one and done like in football. Most of these are series, so it's not like you can go out there, you can shit the bed one game and still be able to rebound back and win the series. But in football, it's one and done. You know what I mean? It's like you only get one shot at it. If you have a shitty game in one game, you're done. The season's over. At least in basketball, hockey, baseball, it's a series. So if you do shit the bed one game, you still have that opportunity to turn it around and have that comeback. So real quick here, I'm going to do another read. We got the J. Fine Law Attorney Big Al. You can call Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Big Al specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. I guess Candace Parker kind of needs the workman's comp right now or personal injury claim, as well as those Raider rookies, Tyree Wilson and Byron Young. You can call Jason 24/7 directly at 267-962-4895 or our boy Maiko Spencer at 267-303-7324 for a free consultation. They now have 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In New Jersey, you have an office at Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The number there is 856-209-5258. Then you have an office in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900 in Pittsburgh. The number there is 412-365-8151. And last but not least, in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The office located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The number there is 267-888-2980. That's J. Fine Law, Attorney Big L. Tell them the Bat Frie sent you. Got a couple comments here. Love me some comments. Eileen says, "Hope Paul, Joe, and Dave don't need them tonight." Who knows what kind of trouble those guys are going to get into? They're going to need an attorney, and hopefully they don't use the number to call Paul. Hopefully they call Big Al and not Maiko. They're all sitting in the jail cell, and Paul's cell phone's ringing, and it's Joe and Dave calling him. "Hey, Maiko, we need help. We're in jail." He's like, "Oh, you idiots! Oh, I'm your one phone call." Stuff like that. That'd be fun. That's a movie right there. That's a movie. You ever see that movie Dream Team? Right there's that movie Dream Team. Those three guys in Pittsburgh. Adam Glenn said, did Paul call Big Al after Dave's yeah. After Dave beat Mr. Fuji up last night on the Atomic Drop podcast. I'm sure Big Al was included somehow, and I don't know if Big Al will take that case or not. It got dark. There's not a whole lot to see. It's not an open and shut case there. I don't know what kind of evidence was left behind by Cowboy Dave, but I don't know. So we have our show scheduled to read off here. Out of the Box Sports weekly lineup on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. The Joystick Junkies talking video games and gaming and stuff like that. 6 p.m. the Sully Squad talking Philadelphia sports. 8:30 p.m. the Big Blue Power Hour talking New York Giants football. Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Commanders Gridiron, brand new show here on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, talking Washington Commanders football. 8:30 p.m. Extra Innings, talking all Major League Baseball. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. The Bat Cave with myself. 8 p.m. you have College Football Frenzy, which will be returning very shortly in the next week or so, 2 weeks. At 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday, you have Dem 215 Boys talking Dallas Cowboy football. Then at Thursdays at 7 p.m., Fuji's Philly Flair talking Philadelphia entertainment. This past week, they had the Philadelphia Phillies PA announcer on with them with Fuji. Great stuff there. Fridays at 10:30 p.m., the Atomic Drop podcast with myself and Cowboy Dave talking WWE wrestling. Saturdays, 11 a.m. during college football season, you'll have the Irish pregame and the Irish postgame. 10 p.m., of course, yeah, right here in the Vegas sports scene. Sundays, you'll have Eagles, Giants, Cowboys pre- and postgame, possibly the Washington Commanders, and maybe even the Raiders, depending on what time the Raiders start, what I got going on. And stuff like that. And then coming soon, a bunch more shows coming. Like we have something for everybody here on Out of the Box. The NFC East Roundtable, the Debate Room, Lights, Camera, Action, the Birds Corner, and the Old School Show. Of course, the Old School Show is already one episode in. That's Joe Sullivan's show. I was a guest host with Joe. We talked about the 86 Mets. Had a great time with that. Absolutely loved it. Hoping to do a Raiders show with him down the road a little bit. Talk about maybe the 70s Raiders or something like that, like the Raiders-Steelers rivalry or something like that. Something from nostalgic from the 70s with the Raiders. Those were our glory years. To kind of face facts there. Even though we did win 2 Super Bowls in the 80s, the 70s was a hell of a decade for the Raiders. So we got the Old School Show. So you also have what is this? Phillies trips. Okay, something to check in. What is that? Philadelphia sports trips. Check them out for the Birds Ultimate Washington trip. This is Joel Sullivan sponsor here. Check that out for all sorts of different types of trips as well. But that's all I got for today. Quick show here, just under an hour. I'm hoping next Saturday, I'm not sure if I'll be on or not. If I am, it's going to be earlier than 10 o'clock because next weekend is my work weekend. I'm not sure if I have to work or not. I won't know until Thursday night. And but if I am on, it'll probably be early. If I do come on, probably be around 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. depending on what I got going on. So stay tuned. Keep a watchful eye out there, and I'll let you know if I'm going to be on, if I'm not going to be on, or if it's going to be a time change or whatever. And we can talk more Raider football and stuff like that. So thank you, everybody, for checking the show out. Thank you, everybody, for commenting. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It helps out a lot when you guys are commenting. It keeps the flow going instead of me just sitting here scratching my ass thinking of what to say next. We kind of bounce off each other, talked a little bit of Jets, we talked Yankees, we talked the Mets. So we talked a little bit of everything, litigation as well. We talked, litigation. So it was a lot of fun. Thanks for checking the show out. And we got one more comment. So that's what I do. I keep it going. So I want to make sure I don't miss any comments. We have Eileen here with, I believe that's a thumbs up. I can't really see it. It's really, on my screen, it's so light. It just looks like a little pink blob. I think it's a thumbs up maybe, or some sort of emoji. It's an emoji. That's all I know. All right. So that's it. That's all I got. Thanks for checking the show out. Just win, baby.